What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode, the Up and In Show. Not daily, because it's been kind of a week. And when I say kind of, I think it's exactly a week. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but it's been a minute. And if you guys have been following along and noticed that I hadn't posted, thank you guys for tuning in and checking on me and all that kind of stuff. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I made an announcement on social media about no longer being involved in cards and culture anymore, and so it's been a bit of a heavy. It was a really heavy weekend for me. Just there was some things that came to light at the end of last week that I wasn't aware of, and just life happening, right? So, figuring out some things and putting pieces together, but also letting some things go. So. I appreciate, the grace and everybody still tuning in. I didn't have too much positivity and optimism in the last couple of days, so I was really just being with myself. If you guys know that about me, I like to experience everything and let it happen. It doesn't, and I'm not always going to be positive and optimistic. I try to be the best I can, but, that was, this weekend wasn't end of last week. This weekend wasn't the best for me. So, making it through it, that's part of life, and there's ups and downs, and the lows are never as low, the highs are never as high, and I have a lot of perspective about that. So I did experience my lows this past week, and I'm getting ready to move forward. Cards and culture is in the rear view, as much as I'm sad about that, and wasn't in my future plans. It's part of life, and so I'm figuring all that out and figuring out what's next. So trying to take it day by day and be patient, but also go after some things that I need to go after and get after it. So today was a cool day though in transitioning away from that energy. Today was a cool day for me. I got to go on the radio again with Jordy Hultberg, and any day that I get to go on the radio with Jordy is awesome. You guys are going to get a little experience. I kind of just played it out loud again and recorded it for you guys to see, just because I enjoy kind of those conversations with Jordy. And again, I'm documenting this for me and my family going forward. And I think it's cool to be on the radio and have these conversations. Jordy and I have some really good energy and good conversations. He asks some really good, intelligent questions and sets me up really nice to talk about things that are relative with LSU baseball, and then connecting my story to the past. And so I'm going to share that conversation with you guys today on the radio. But then it kind of inspired me with this time I've been spending, doing a lot of reading and writing. So one of the things I'm going to write about today, I think, is, talking about how special postseason baseball is in Alex Box Stadium, and maybe some of my stories and experiences through that. So I think I'm going to write a little article. And then there was a really, really cool podcast that was put out by an actor that played at the old Alex Box Stadium. It was my freshman year in our Super Regional against UC Irvine. So I'm going to find that. I'm going to embed that into the article too and talk about that, because watching that was really cool. Jared Mitchell shared that in our group chat this week. So I'm going to make a little article about my experiences and just what that does, for, I think, the fans and for the players. And I, just over the years heard so many people experience Alex Box Stadium in so many different ways. So I think that would be a cool article. So Jordy inspired me. I want to share that convo with you guys, and then I'm going to write an article about it and share that in social media in different ways. So appreciate y'all being here. Again, so much love and appreciation for everyone that came through the doors at Cards and Culture. That's really what the last couple of days I've tried to focus on, is just the gratitude and the people and the relationships that I've made through the years. And the people that came through those doors spent their hard-earned money in my space and supported my vision and the things I wanted to do. So hopefully it brought people a lot of joy and happiness. And I know I selfishly had a lot of joy and happiness through those doors and enjoyed being there every single day, and it didn't feel like work for me. So I'm going to miss that space. I'm going to miss the people that came through the doors and the community that was built around there, and the great things that we did while they were there. So I hope you guys support the shop. I hope you guys go in there. It's a great place. And I hope you guys still have a bunch of joy and happiness when you guys go through those doors. So appreciate y'all. And, hopefully I'll be back this week. I'm going to kind of see how things go and flow from there. So appreciate y'all.
You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Southwest Louisiana sports station and your home for the LSU Tigers. Let's talk Tigers, brought to you by the Cajuns Wharf Grill and Bar, your favorite local hangout in Lake Charles. Watch all the ball games, have great food, great drinks, great times with great friends at the Cajuns Wharf Grill and Bar. Anthony Ranaudo, former Friday night ace for the LSU Tigers, won a national championship in 2009. Friend of our program. We always love talking to him, and he joins us now. Anthony, baseball at the box, late May and June. Nothing like it, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing great. You said it, man. There's nothing like baseball in the box. Postseason baseball in the box. It's what we live for here in Baton Rouge. And if you're a LSU baseball fan, it's the best time of year. So, yes, love chopping it up with you. Thank you for having me, man.
All right, let's put your managerial hat on, okay? Let's go back in history a little bit. 2009, LSU's hosting a regional. Opening day game is against Southern University.
Yes.
Open-air decides we're not going to start Anthony Ranaudo on that game. We're going to go Johnny Holstaff with that one. You win easily. They give you the ball for game 2 against Baylor. You go 9 innings. It's tied 2-2 after 9. LSU gets a run in the top frame. And then a guy by the name of Marriott closes out the game, and you win it 3-2. So here we go, fast forward. Let's go to 2023. LSU's hosting Tulane in the first game of the regional. You're thinking maybe Jay Johnson's going to go Johnny Holstaff with that one, but no, he goes with Paul Skeens, and much like you, he pitches a complete game, 9-inning win, and LSU moves on. What does Jay Johnson do in this regional when you face Arkansas Little Rock in game 1, and then in all likelihood, Dallas Baptist in game 2? Take me behind the scenes. What do you think goes on with that decision?
Man, it's a good question. I knew we were going to chop it up and talk about it. Jay is going to obviously keep it close to its chest. But like you said, you gave out 2 different scenarios. In 2009 when we were playing, we went with Holstaff, but it was really our number 3 starter, Austin Ross, who actually gave us a great game and started for us. And he battled his butt off, and we were down 2-1 in like the 6th inning or something, or 7th inning, and we were a little sweaty in the dugout. We never really panicked, but we were like, okay, we got to get this going. It was a little nervous, right? You could feel the box stirring a little bit. And then when you think about Skeens pitching in 23 against Tulane, they were on a crazy hot streak, right? And that's kind of, I'm not going to say Arkansas Little Rock's on a hot streak, but they are here because they won their tournament, right? Like if you look at their overall body of work this year, you would be like, all right, yeah, we can go Holstaff, but since they won, 5 games in 4 days, whatever it was to win their tournament, I don't mind going Cade Anderson game 1. Let's go Cade Anderson. Let's lock this game up. And then we got one of the best pitchers in the country and probably the hottest pitcher in the country who's fully rested, right? Didn't start a game in the SEC tournament, but got his work in. And he's ready to roll against Dallas Baptist, who are already beat, right? So that's kind of my philosophy and thinking what Jay may do, but he's got options, right? He's got plenty of options.
Take me into the locker room. What did it mean to you, pulmonary? You're normally the Friday guy, and it's the first game in the regional. You're pumped up to go. When he told you the news, was that deflating to you? And my worry is this. You can't take anybody for granted in these games. I don't care who it is. You just can't take them for granted. Are you sending a message to your team like, oh, we're not worried about Little Rock. We can throw these 3 or 4 guys in this game 1. We're more concerned about game 2. It's a fine line, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think that's what I was kind of alluding to in 2009, right? And I'm not saying Coach Maneri did that because we played Southern and we knew, and I'm still friends with him, Chase Richard, I'll never forget, lefty pitcher for Southern, great dude, but he was throwing like, low 80s, mid 80s, and in the SEC you're getting, mid 90s, so he had our number a little bit, and so we were a little like, okay, should we do this? Should we go after them? And yeah, as a Friday guy, I wanted the ball that first day, but also, I had some perspective to know, all right, cool, it's a day game. I'm not upset about, not having to pitch that game, and I get the night game against Baylor. So, there was perspective, and Coach framed it up in a way that was, beneficial to me and the team, and he did a great job. And so, no matter what Jay does, I'm sure he's going to have his guys ready to play. But a little bit from the optics, right, even from the media standpoint, the fan standpoint, it does send that message a little bit, even if it's subconscious, to be like, yeah, we're not going with our number 1 against this team. But that's what scares me a little bit with a team that's coming in that has nothing to lose, that's won their conference tournament, right? You kind of want to send a message to them almost like, hey, man, we're giving you Kate Anderson. You're not winning this game, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you. And it keeps them on their regular Friday, Saturday routine, right?
Exactly.
Or if you get past this one, it gets you set up for the Super Regional. Super Regional is a no-brainer. You pitch Anderson, you pitch Ianson, and you're hopefully done with it. So it sets up that way. So I'm kind of with you. I don't overlook anybody. Let's go with it. You're going to have to do whole staff at some point in time. When you do whole staff, you kept talking about Jaden Newt. Looks like he might be the guy. You're like Nostradamus when it comes to this stuff.
Jordy, I'm going to be honest with you. I do feel good about that. When I'm patting myself on the back a little bit, I remember, one of our first shows this year, I was like, Jaden Newt might be that guy this year, right? So, yeah, he has developed into that. We saw it when he started the game, in the SEC tournament. He's valuable because he came in, like I said, he had that pedigree as a top, recruit coming from California, starting pitcher, big body guy, 6'4", can run it up there, 95 at times, so we can use him in short stints and we can use him, to pitch 4 innings, 5 innings, or be an opener or whatever it is. So yeah, we got options, and that's the thing is going to be, I honestly think their postseason run is going to come down to those pitchers, right? The pitchers that are the question marks. We have the best number 1, 2 in the country. We have some great closers, right? That middle ground, that Johnny Holstaff area, what freshmen, what inexperienced guys that don't have a huge track record yet are going to step up. And that's usually what makes a championship team, right? Is like, how are those guys going to respond under pressure? And that's when, legends are developed in Baton Rouge. We saw it last year with Monster Milam, right? He came together in the SEC tournament, in the regional, and the legend of Monster has been created, right? So, like, this is what I'm looking for is, like, what pitchers are going to step up and be those dudes and fit into those roles, and then what offensive guys are going to step up and be the clutch guys, because we're not huge boppers right this year, but like they're going to have clutch hits. So that's what I'm looking for. It's going to be fun.
That's the key. All the pitching in the world is great, but Amanda, if you don't hit and score runs, it's not going to matter. And after about a couple innings against Texas A&M, and they were shut out the rest of that game and didn't score against Ole Miss, 14 straight innings without a run. So somebody's got to get hot. And usually hot happens at the box when it's really hot, and the bats have to start getting hot. That's the key.
Absolutely. And that's what, and you said it, right? So like this regional, this is going to be huge. They're not, we kind of talked about that earlier, right? Like their strength is defense. They're one of the best defensive teams in the country. Their infield is absolutely electric where they need to. So they make all the plays, they pitch, which is always going to win in the long run, right? But they're eventually going to start facing some of the best pitching in the country that's also doing their job, right? So which is going to neutralize bats. So we're going to have clutch hits, timing hits, and that's where it's going to be like, who is going to be that dude? Is Jared Jones going to hit a big 3-run homer? Is he going to start the regional off with a bang and hit a 500-foot tank to get the boys riled up, right? And that's kind of what this team needs, is they need somebody to kind of bring that fire in the regional, like you said, get the box behind them, and get that storyline and that media narrative going, like Jared Jones is hot right now, Monster Milam is hot right now, like that's what they need. So hopefully this regional is that place for them. They've gotten a decent draw. Like, you don't want to underlook anybody, but this could be the spot for them to kind of take off.
It's a great draw, no question about that. And even looking ahead to the Super Regional, it looks like a great draw. All right, explain this to me. I can only think of one reason why they're doing it. Why play at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? It's not going to be a raucous, loud box. It's just not. There's only one reason I can see them playing at 2 rather than at night, and that's Mother Nature and the weather. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, I think it's Mother. Yeah, I'm with you, Jordy. It makes me cringe thinking about a 2 o'clock game for that opening game, but I think Maneri did that too, because I remember playing Southern in the middle of the day, and I think he did it because he wants to see how other teams are pitching and and who the opponent is. And then I think what he did for us was, more importantly, was he wanted the rest. I think there was more rest, with the turnaround time and all that stuff. I don't know. So those would be the things that I'm thinking are the benefits, is maybe a little extra rest for the guys in the postseason and the turnaround time. If you lose that night game, if you lose that first game, then you might have to play the afternoon game. And in an elimination game, you want your guys more rested, I don't know. So that would be more of my thought process maybe. But I think a lot of it has to do with, yes, Mother Nature.
Yeah, I like those night games to start a regional.
Oh, it's the best. Yeah.
I've always said this. You'll know this better than me. There's opening day baseball at the box, and that's pretty darn good. Then you go through the grind, and then there's one or two of those key SEC series, top 10 matchups. That's another level of Alex Box Stadium. And then you get regional play. What's regional play like at the box with all the tradition? You're looking up at the Intimidator, all the expectations. There's a lot of pressure on LSU baseball when you get to this time of the season. How did y'all handle that? What was that feeling like?
Well, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I got so lucky, Jordy, because I'm a kid from Jersey that didn't even really know all the traditions of LSU baseball and was thrown into it, right? And I fell in love with it so hard. So watching all the highlight videos on the bus, all year, and then finally getting to play in a regional at the old Alex Box because that was my freshman year. So can you imagine what that was like pulling up there? And what I thought was the coolest thing was when you host a regional, you actually have to clear out of your locker room, because everybody has to use your locker, right? So it was a whole different experience. You're taking a bus to your home game, which was really unique because you arrived as a team, right? And then you maybe used your dugout, but maybe used a different one, right? So that was really cool. And that was really the best part about the regionals for me, was rolling up there, seeing everybody tailgating. It was so humid and hot that it was just like you knew that this was postseason baseball, and then everything was just so electric, right? So and when you say opening day in the postseason, like it just has this different smell around the yard, like different energy. Like it really is. It's hard to say into words. It's really something that you just need to experience. And that's why it's one of my favorite things to just get a standing room only ticket for like the regional and super regional games, to just be out there in the atmosphere and just experiencing it. Cause it reminds me of when I was, 18 years old and got to do the first regional, my freshman year at the old box.
How cool was the victory lap around down the first baseline, all down the outfield line, down the third baseline at the old box? How fun was that?
Jordy, it's like literally bringing tears to my eyes just thinking about it, because as you get older in life, you realize those things and how monumental they are, and the experiences that you have. I literally can't even put into words. I have pictures of them that remind me of those moments, but as I get older, it literally is still some of my best memories of my life. It really is.
That's what's great about baseball. Postseason play, you get to play at home. If you're good enough, you get to play. Basketball, you're on the road. It's different. Football, you're on the road. It's different. Baseball, that's what makes it so cool. You earn the right to play at home. What an advantage it is. I said that all time. LSU hosts a regional for the 28th time in their history, and at home, at the box, in postseason play, LSU is 106-24. That's
Jesus.
pretty darn good. Thanks, man. Pretty darn good.
That is very good, yes. And there is something magical about the box. Something in our group chat the other day, somebody sent us, Jared Mitchell put in our group chat the other day, a clip of a guy he was on UC Irvine in that super regional to close out the old Alex Box Stadium, and he's a very famous actor now. So he was on this big podcast, and he was talking about his experience and how he actually passed up a role in Twilight to play on that team to try to go to Omaha because they were preseason top 5 or something like that, and how he doesn't regret missing out on Twilight because of playing against LSU at Alex Box Stadium. So, I mean, if that doesn't say it, I don't know what else does,
We'll close on that one.
Yep.
Well said, Anthony Ranaudo. Always great catching up with you. Enjoy the weekend, man. Thank you so much.
You're the best, Jordy. Appreciate you, man.